This is a Project B.A.I.T. news analysis, the Rambo Report for my people. I've been concentrating on the water situation in Flint, but the water situation in Flint applies to the water situation here in the city of Detroit. But more than that, there's a bigger picture to that. There is the concept of our relationship to ourselves and our community. One of the key problems in the water situation in Flint is the dependence of black people in this society. You know, there are three stages or states in which we can exist. We can be independent, we can be dependent, or we can be interdependent. And black folk in the main, overwhelmingly, are dependent, psychologically and productive in their own interests in this society. Now, I was discussing this with the fellows in our group, our Saturday group, the Saturday Irregulars. Now, we have as such an elite group. I mean, we're not rookies. Most of the folk in the group are elders, all right, and have a lot of experience. And yet, within our group, what was obvious from our discussion, and last couple of weeks, based on our agenda, we've been having some very intense discussions about the water crisis, okay? And it's been going on longer, that is to say, our meetings, as well as the crisis. Our meetings now have expanded from 1 to 3 to 1 to 4, because this is an intense problem and we're looking at it. Well, part of what I do at the meetings, talk a little bit and listen a lot, all right? So in the course of listening, it became obvious that even to me, even with our group, the level of dependence and lack of analysis and planning is, it's just overwhelming, okay? And in the course of, say, for example, at our group, we had a discussion. In fact, one of our members invited a so-called leader to come and talk with us and to do an interview. In fact, 2 interviews. Well, we asked her what interview she wanted to do first, and she said, well, I want to talk about the Flint water crisis. Fine, So after she did her little interview, not interview, really a presentation, because I didn't say anything except to prep her for the interview. So she did it, and then afterwards, we got into discussion about the crisis. And she's running along, and so pretty soon in the course of the discussion, she made, in my judgment, so many mistakes that I began to put in my 2 cents. My ignorant 2 cents. Well, she couldn't handle it. And in the course of it, she said, I was attacking her. I was attacking the problem. Okay, the system that caused the problem. I didn't do an ad hominem attack on her. The following week, we had another brother, one of our irregulars, and he came in and said, and we're still talking about the water situation. So he said he was going to invite a group that he was related to come to our session, but he said he had to prepare for the abuse they would receive from me when they showed up. So that in the course of a few weeks, I had been called an ignoramus, an attacker, and an abuser. Now, in my judgment, I don't do any of these things. In my judgment, I'm a student, a teacher, a communicator, an organizer, a reader, and a writer. So there's a cognitive disconnect. But the important thing is that it demonstrated to me the lack of intellectual discipline, focus, and practice that our folks just are overwhelmed by. And in my judgment and in communication, once again established at our sessions, is that we're just not focused. We're not focused. We're not disciplined. And we won't do what is necessary to deal with our problems. And that, in my judgment, is the vestiges of the condition of slavery, okay, and long-term discrimination, is that we have internalized that, so that when I presented to them as I present to you, how we begin to solve problems, our folk, be they leaders or followers, run away from or avoid the discipline necessary to act in our own interests. That is, if you have a problem, you begin to do the research to solve the problem, okay? And that research is by and large put together in books. I mean, it doesn't take a heck of a lot of effort, frankly, at this stage in history. You can go to the public library and, like I said, find the 75 books in the Detroit Public Library on how to solve the Flint problem and our problems. But if you go, like I do, to the libraries, you'll find libraries don't get a heck of a lot of attention or use. I mean, I go there and find, there's no problem taking out the books because nobody else is there taking them out, which means you aren't reading them, and thus we're not prepared to solve our own problems. This has been another Project B.A.I.T. News Analysis, the Rambo Report for my people.
I am Divine with the Concept East Facebook page report. We encourage you to go on to Facebook and in your search bar, type in Concept East. Here you will find multiple G pages. G stands for group pages that Concept East has specifically developed for you in mind. We have created these pages to elevate the consciousness of Black people. If you are looking to find out information about economics and business, visit our CE group page on economic and business. We encourage you to become a member and like our group pages. This is Divine with the Facebook Concept East report.
The Saturday Irregulars, an urban think tank, meets weekly from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. across the street from Belle Isle at the northeast intersection of East Jefferson and East Grand Boulevard. No leaders, no elections, no offices, no dues, no in-groups. Thinkers and students are welcome. A choice, not an option.
Urban Concepts Magazine, the magazine for the people, featuring articles by Divine, David Rambo. You can email us at images313@gmail.com. Urban Concepts Magazine, the magazine for Black people.
This is the Rambo Report, another analysis for my people. I'm still on the water situation, actually planning how to deal with the water. Okay, overcoming my ignorance about it, and it's a level of ignorance, and that's okay. Now I indicated I went to the library and they got the shelves. Okay, Detroit Main Library. And also I looked up, there's a Flint library. It's on the internet. I guess you can just put in Flint Public Library and you come up and there appears on the internet a nice picture of the front of their building. As they say in the commentary, it's not that big. Well, it doesn't have to be that big. The question is what kind of books do they have, or what kind of internet system, computer system do they have to address you to where you need to be. Well, one of the interesting things about going online to look at the Flint situation in the public library is the librarians. There's a group of them called the Librarians for Human Rights, okay, in Flint. Now, they noticed in April of 2014 the water was orange. They just did a simple visual observation. Scientific, I mean, the people in the community did that same visual observation. Their toilet water was orange, their drinking water was a light orange. I mean, not hard, okay? The question is, what did they do about it? Well, within, the Flint people indicated, in 4 months, they got together and said, we're going to get some water coolers. And that's what they said. They got the water coolers in their narrative. I mean, I haven't checked to see in point of fact whether they did it or not. But they said they got a system of water coolers for the public and for the staff, okay? Which meant that the people who patronized them and their staff, they were not drinking the yellow water, the orange water. Pretty simple, isn't it? And of course, the governor has indicated that he did the same thing for state employees that were in government buildings in Flint. He ordered them to get water coolers, and they did. And that took care of their drinking water problem. Now, that same opportunity and solution was available in the community. You know what was the response? One of the most egregious responses that I got when we discussed this at our Saturday Regulars meeting? One of the brothers said, people in Flint are too poor. They can't do it. They can't get it. They don't have the wherewithal to get water coolers. So I thought to myself, and I think I mentioned to him, this example. Suppose you have 10 people who need clean water, fresh water, purified water, quality water. 10 people, 10 families, 10 whatever. They each have $1, okay? But water costs $2. Now, between the 10 of them, they got $1. Each one got $1. Water costs $2 to get a jug of water. Just an example. By themselves, individually, they will be thirsty forever. In fact, they will die in 3 days because they don't have any water, any clean water, purified water. Because $1 will not buy a $2 container of water. If they come together and put their $1 together, they have $10. Now they can buy 5 containers of water. The first fundamental problem is that they are not organized, okay? They have not come together to solve their own problem. The Flint Library came together as a group to solve their problem. Even poor people have resources, disposable income, because, of course, they are buying water anyway, okay? The question is will you organize to purify or obtain purified water? That is the crucial question. But if you have a slave mentality, you are individualized and unorganized, okay? And you lack the belief within yourself that you can individually and collectively do it. The basic point or proverb that I use is start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. And in the part of the research and studies that I've been doing with a colleague of mine Dika Kilimanjaro, okay, of the University of Kemet Press. He studies ancient African civilizations, focusing on Kemet. Essentially, all of the water problems that we face today were dealt with 6,000 years ago and solved in Kemet, in the African kingdom, nation, Kemet. Solved. Why? Because it's obvious. You cannot build the great pyramids without solving your water problems. No question. No question. Think for a minute. Think about your water problem. Come together and solve it. This has been another Project B.A.I.T. News Analysis, the Rambo Report for my people.
I am Divine with the Concept East Facebook page report. We encourage you to go on to Facebook and in your search bar, type in Concept East. Here you will find multiple G pages. G stands for group pages that Concept East has specifically developed for you in mind. We have created these pages to elevate the consciousness of Black people. If you are looking to find out information about economics and business, visit our CE group page on economic and business. We encourage you to become a member and like our group pages. This is Divine with the Facebook Concept East report.
Questions, frustrations with the new technology? Every Wednesday, Senior Technology Ministry, 313-434-8350.
Urban Concepts Magazine, the magazine for the people, featuring articles by Divine, David Rambo. You can email us at images313@gmail.com. Urban Concepts Magazine, the magazine for Black people. I am Divine. This is the For My People report. Happy Black History Month. Or is it? Why do we celebrate Black history? I have been talking to my peers, those who are in the Generation X, Millenniums segment population. That means people who were born in the late 1960s all the way up into, let's say, the late 90s. Why do we celebrate Black history? What do we need it for? Recently, Stacey Dash, who's known on Fox News, said that we don't need Black History Month. It should just be part of American history. But as we know, history, his story, teaches us that it is separated to where you have European history, you have Asiatic history, Mongolian, Black, Kemetic, Negro, so on and so forth. So having Black history is very important. It was so important to where Dr. Carter G. Woodson came up with in 1926 Black History Week to highlight the history of Negro people. Negro is a term that was placed upon us when we were brought here in the transatlantic slave trade, as we became kidnapped slaves, individuals who were working for free. From that point, we continued on to understand who we were because our culture was taken from us. Yes, we were from the continent of Africa, but we came from country states such as Ghana, Angola, Nigeria, as well as other parts of Africa. So now we're here in America, not clear of who we are as a people. So now we must begin to tell our story, our own story, of what it is that we have come through, what we have created, such as the refrigerator, the ice box, the fork, the ironing, the iron, the flat iron, relaxers, jazz, blues, hip hop, ebonics as some would say. We have created fashion, the trends that a lot of us rock, and those who we watch on, like the Kardashians, and so on and so forth, who continue to take our identity to reinvent themselves. Black history is vitally important. If you look at the NAACP Image Awards that aired last week, you can see how influential our Black history is. Each one of us, every time we wake up, every time we put on our clothes, put in ourselves in our right mind, and step out into the world, we are writing the next story to our history, our Black history. The NAACP Image Awards for the last 2 years has been aired on a Black-owned network known as TV One. TV One has stock, which is part of making Black history, that is publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. The stock only costs $1.67 per share. We talk about Black history. We also talk about building economic power. The two go hand in hand. Within that, we have individuals who decided, because Black history was such an opportunity to take hands and say, let's boycott the Oscars. That particular couple who stood up to say, let's boycott the Oscars, due to them not receiving acknowledgments and those other African American actors not being acknowledged, decided to attend the NAACP Awards. Now, I've been watching the NAACP Image Awards since I can remember, and I have not seen those two individuals attend the award show. As we tend to come into a consciousness of really accepting and empowering ourselves as Blacks, African Americans in the United States of America, we gotta get focused. We can't pick and choose when Black is hot or all right. We have to decide once and for all that we're gonna be Black, whether we making billions, trillions, quadrillions, or we making nickels and dimes, dollars and hundreds and thousands. You should not utilize the label of Black for your benefit. It should be utilized for the empowerment of us as a people. With that being said, I am Divine, and this is a For My People report. Urban Concepts Magazine, the magazine for the people, featuring articles by Divine, David Rambo. You can email us at images313@gmail.com. Urban Concepts Magazine, the magazine for Black people.
We invite our friends and viewers to access facebook.com for new Project B.A.I.T websites. Look for Concept East, Institute of the Black Arts, Concept East, Institute of History, and Concept East Theater. We also invite you to submit copy to post on these sites through Facebook's news feed. It takes teamwork to make the dream work.
More Lime Snow and Debris Removal, residential and commercial, where you get more for your money. 588-6760.
The Saturday Irregulars, an urban think tank, meets weekly from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. across the street from B.A.I.T at the northeast intersection of East Jefferson and East Grand Boulevard. No leaders, no elections, no officers, no dues, no in-groups. Thinkers and students are welcome. a choice, not an option.